What's up, good people? Welcome back to Four Titles, One Truth. You know who I am. I'm Tommy.
And you know who I am. I'm Lance.
Okay, facts.
Yep. Today we're talking about leadership, real leadership, the kind that's earned, not given.
Yeah, we both led soldiers through combat zones, peacekeeping missions, and everything in between.
Loved it.
The one thing I know for sure, leadership in the military will either expose you or elevate you.
Agreed. Leadership is difficult. So let's break down what it took for us to really lead from the front.
Okay, let me start this one off. What was the first leadership position you ever held in the military, and how did it shape you?
Okay, as a second lieutenant coming in, being a charge nurse is usually what.
Charge nurse.
So that's like a squad leader. So
Okay.
we're in charge of that shift and assignments and making things. They're coming. Folks are coming to you if they have any questions about problems,
Okay. About
whatever.
anything on
Yeah.
that.
So you're managing that
Okay.
that shift. So
It's
I mean,
the same people all the time?
it could be different folks,
Okay.
but usually the same people are working the same shift. 'Cause, you know, as you get a schedule and you're on that schedule for whatever month, or I can't remember what that.
Okay.
What it's usually a month.
Okay.
So it's usually the same folks.
Uh-huh.
So you know you have a team and all of the good stuff. So it just helps you to start understanding how to organize, how to communicate with the people who you work with, and
Right.
also the people who patients and
Right.
doctors and other folks that might come to
Right.
your area.
Right.
I mean, it's that initial, that basic teaching you all the little fundamentals,
Right.
of
Thrown
and-
in the pot.
Yes, and helps you to make see what you need to work on.
Okay.
Also, so it's that first building block
Okay.
that's necessary to get to the next. See how to run and get to the next level.
Right.
So.
So how would you say that shaped you?
Well, I mean, shaping it was like, again, it was the start. So it would help me to say, okay, I need to work on this, or I need to be better at this, or I'm pretty good at connecting right here, communicating in this way, but I'm not. I need to work on doing. It's just the beginning, because again, that's still learning your job. Young, learning your job, learning what you're doing. So I'm
And
focused
to the
on that.
Army and everything.
Yeah, it's focused on that, and then then you're getting hit with the leadership stuff that's different from when you were in ROTC, because
Right.
it's not your homeboys and friends and stuff that you're being in charge. These
New
are
folks,
actual,
new faces.
actual
Gotcha.
folks that are getting paid for doing this and wanting to be here and stuff. So it was the start of me. Well, I guess how it shaped me is it always I wanted to be better.
Okay.
I know I could be better. Want to be better. Was helping me show what my initial weaknesses were,
Okay.
because I felt like once you get those straight, then you're gonna see something else gonna come. So it's a building. It was a build to me. I took it as a building block, a Lego. Another.
What would you say was one of your weaknesses,
Um,
if you can remember?
Probably the decision making, just because I wasn't super confident in the job, and doing the job, the
Right.
work. I mean, I knew what I was doing. I wasn't unsafe or anything like that. But being new to nursing, which is what I was doing, it's like, shoot, I just did this. I wasn't just in class, 2 months ago, 3
Right.
months ago, and now I'm here doing it. This for real, on a real patient, with me signing my name on stuff that's, if something is jacked up, it's coming.
My fault.
Yeah, it's coming back to me. So just being getting that confidence. So in decision making and telling other folks what, I guess, delegating things.
Okay.
Because it's hard to I felt like, well, I don't want to tell him to do it, because then it's gonna look like I'm
Sitting around not doing
like I'm
nothing.
sitting
Yeah.
around, I don't say bullying, but just because I'm the lieutenant,
Right.
whatever the ranking officer, I'm telling them what to do. So just learning that young, and just learning that, knowing that that's not, folks are gonna expect you to. That's part of it. And then just learning that piece and knowing what's excessive. delegating and bullying and what's not, and the decision making got better just because I got more confident in what I was doing and knowing what I was doing and knowing the area and environment. So it was like, oh, okay, yep, this what we do. Yep, I need you to do here. Being able to lead the team and when we have like emergencies. Because I worked in the emergency room was my first assignment when I came into the military at Fort Knox. I mean, small place. It was basic training there, so we would get a lot of work, a lot of things that help with the initial train for a new nurse coming in. Okay. It was the right speed with the right amount of skill set type of procedures and things to help build up my repertoire. Yep. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So how about you?
So I'm going to talk about the first leadership position with Chevrons on. Right,
okay.
As a sergeant, because I've talked about my first leadership position when I was a specialist promotable, and I messed around and we deployed over there to Bosnia.
Right.
But my first leadership position as a non-commissioned officer, Sergeant E5, it's kind of a funny story because I was in Fort Eustis, Virginia.
Okay.
And I was in the battalion headquarters. I worked in the S1. Yeah. I just happened to walk in and you're going to S1. Then
personnel and
it was just snatched up, right? And so I was E4 promotable in there, but then I made Sergeant E5, made the cutoff score. And I was playing basketball, and the company that I was assigned to, but I was attached to battalion. The company I was assigned to, the company commander heard that HAC was killing in basketball. So he pulled me back. He pulled me back to the unit, and I became the orderly room at CYC.
Of course.
And we would. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So being the orderly room in CYC, the only touch on clerking type of thing I've ever done was that little stint I did in battalion, because I'd been transportation the whole time. But in this situation, I was in charge of NCOERs at the battalion.
Ooh, okay.
So I had to come to the orderly room and be responsible for pay, be responsible for all that stuff. So I had to learn.
How many folks did you?
I had 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, 3. I stayed between 3 and 4, depending on what happens. This is the job I told you that I was standing around the computer and found out I made the cutoff score for E6 in the first hour I walked in. But anyway, so the hardest thing to do is learn a job while being in charge of the job. Luckily, I was fortunate enough where I fell in on a staff that had been doing things.
Okay.
And so what I had to hurry up to do is catch up, as well as still lead and try to improve. And like I said, it was my first job as a non-commissioned officer, so I was still figuring out what kind of leader I was.
Yeah, that's one ain't no joke.
Yeah,
it's a lot of get a lot of phone calls.
And
I know I just call them all the time.
The orderly room's even worse. S1, at least you got everybody there up to the command sergeant major and the battalion commander.
That's true.
But in the orderly room, it pretty much stops at you, and then it goes to the first sergeant. But the first sergeant going to turn around and say, handle it. So it was interesting because, like I said, I was playing catch up. But the good news is I had good people there.
Okay.
And it was, just like you said, it was a perfect opportunity for me to get my leadership legs underneath me as a non-commissioned officer and grow from there. So it led to me getting a higher leadership position. I ended up being platoon sergeant, and we had a good little team. So I think the way it shaped me is it made me realize that you don't have to be the master of everything going in, but you absolutely have to try to understand every part of the job so
Yes.
that you can manage it
You-
with understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I mean, because I would tell my folks, because I had some, especially as I got higher and my areas got larger. I mean, and I was like, I know a lot about a lot, and what different folks are doing and what you guys are doing. Said, but I'm not the expert.
Right.
Some of you guys are the expert in some of these different areas, and I expect come let me know, so I can help you out and help you get to where you need to be. But yeah, that is such a true statement, man. That is such a true statement.
And so when I walked in, I was the NCOER champion, so that I was down with. But all that other admin stuff, I was like, what? So that was my first chevron wearing leadership position.
Okay.
And it made me realize that it's easier for you to dive in and learn it, like we talked about, than try to manage something where you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's difficult. All right, so what's one leadership failure you had to learn the hard way, and how did you grow from it?
So I was in the same unit,
Okay.
same position, but I ended up not only taking over the orderly room, but eventually it evolved into me taking over the bad people, the ones that it's like if you went AWOL and came back, you were attached to me, So I ended up taking in the good crew I had, and then I had everybody else's lower tiered people, right? I don't want to say trash because they weren't bad people. It was just situations. That's one of the things I've learned to understand. But my leadership belief was that I tell you what to do. If you don't do it, then my stature comes into play, right? And that time in the Army, it wasn't approved by senior leadership, right, in the chain of command. But if you had a problem with a soldier, you could handle it at your level.
Ooh.
But you got to be careful, right? Because I know of a situation where the squad leader had the bark, but got
bite.
folded up in the bite with the bite. But my situation was that had worked for me, my stature and
You could debo it. I see it.
yeah, my loud voice or whatever. That alleviated a lot of issues, right?
Okay.
A lot of people not doing what I wanted them to do. But there was this one soldier. I wish I've been trying to remember his name, but I can't. But he was from them streets, and he was back from AWOL, right? Yeah, and it was PT and physical training in the morning, and I had a plan that he couldn't. I don't think he could run, so he was on walking profile. So I had a plan for him to go and execute.
Right.
And he was like, "No, I'm not doing that." I was like, "What you mean you ain't doing that?" Right? And so I've never been shy about my capabilities, but that wasn't the time or place because we were right outside of the. We just broke from formation.
Okay.
And formation was on the basketball courts there, and we were off to the side, and there's two companies that have formations on the basketball courts, but they're facing different ways. So it was probably about 200 people just around. Ooh. Some were stretching for PT and all that stuff. And so, if I don't get you on level 2, I go to 3, 4, 5, right? That's the way it goes. And so me and this joker was literally about to attack each other. I knew what I was doing for the first say a few minutes. But when that joker
Yeah,
pushed
just
back,
snap.
yeah, when that joker pushed back, I completely forgot that I was wearing chevrons. I completely forgot that I was the leader in this position.
That
And I completely forgot that it's up to me to maintain
yeah,
this
there's
situation.
some stuff that take you back to the streets.
And so, yeah. And so what that did was it, through some counseling, I'm talking on paper, and through some challenging meetings with that platoon sergeant, and then of course, and that platoon sergeant wasn't even in the company, and then the first sergeant and my platoon sergeant, which was not really a problem, but just having to come to the understanding that I was all wrong. There's nothing that I could do, and it took me a minute to realize that. But when I realized that, I was like broken.
Yep.
Not broken like whatever, but I was snapped out of, I guess is a better word.
That's that's a hard thing to that realization, you know, because it's like I'm right, I know what I'm doing.
But
I'm
got this.
being fair with you. That's hard.
So now I know what humble pie is.
That's
Because that was, but it had worked this whole time.
up until
And you know why it worked? Because they were soldiers who were still trying to be good soldiers. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they didn't disagree with me or didn't want to challenge me. It's they were being soldiers. Well, he's in charge, even though he's trying to be a bully or whatever. But yeah, that got me out of that belief that my presence and my stature is enough to get my way. You know,
I mean, I can tell you for me, I probably had a few, but one little stupidness. I was probably a captain at that time. But again, we're in the hospital and on a shift, and one of the soldier techs, you know, say, oh, I need to go home, blah blah blah, and not you like, did you put in some leave? Did you talk to your NCOIC? Did you? You know, I said, oh yeah, go ahead and leave. You know, go. Not even worrying about what the workload that we had. So then this joker's gone. And
sympathetic leader, you
yes, and now we don't have enough people to run the rooms that we had. And who made that decision to let somebody leave to put us in this predict? So yeah, so I got I got chewed by a few folks, and you know, needless to say, I was like, yep, I learned my lesson for this one. That shit won't be happening to me.
So you too understand humble pie.
Yes, I do. I mean, that's what I said. I've had a couple. I mean, I could
Me
probably
too.
tell you a few of them that were like, you sit there, because I tell you some of the stuff I will be walking or be driving or something, just be like, God, you know, and think about it and be like, I can't believe I did that. You know, can't believe I did that.
But
So
you know what though? When you have the ability, because sometimes it takes a minute for you to get it. I just hope that every leader, when you have that moment of, ooh, I was wrong, that you make sure that you don't keep that to yourself.
yeah, I mean, that's part of being a lead, being accountable, and
Absolutely.
responsible is part of being a leader. So knowing when
Yeah.
you mess up,
Yeah.
I messed
And
up.
take
You
it
know,
yeah,
being
take
able to
responsibility.
admit that. So
Yeah. All right. So, hey, when did you finally understand that leadership was more about people than position?
probably I was probably at that. It's probably around a senior captain, early major, where I really started being put in more positions. When I went, that was first assignment. Well, one of the first assignments where I was stationed with the field unit. So I was out with soldiers out in 80, you know, out in
Right.
82nd doing those things, and just watching some of the NCOs, some of those leaders, being able to talk to them that actually, because sometimes you have a different, your NCOs you have in the hospital are sometimes different from your NCOs that you have out in the field. And I tell you, I appreciated that, because the NCOs that were out in the field units and stuff reminded me of my NCOs whenever I was in ROTC that actually did the teaching to us and all of that stuff. So I mean, it was good because I was able to learn some stuff from them, and I was also able to teach them some stuff about the job and what we did as far as because they were MOS for OR.
Right.
It was 91 Delta,
But
68
out
Delta
in the
now, but
field,
yeah. So but they're out. Some have been out in the field a whole time and haven't been in the hospital or anything like that. So it was good we could bank off each other, but just learning different soldiering techniques and what you're really looking for and what you really should be honing in on and caring about and stuff like that. So probably at that time I started focusing a little more because I feel like I was going in that direction anyway.
Right.
Just from being able to watch Audra, my wife, do it because she's had, she was commander and doing all this stuff. So just having that, conversations with her and watching her do her stuff and like, okay. Yeah. And then just being more, again, go back to it, being more confident in my job. Because I felt like at that time, I felt like I knew my job. I was good. Right. I was good at my job. I was good at my job. I knew what I was doing. Right. So that piece
locked in.
Yeah. So now okay. What's next?
Right.
I need to start taking care of folks and getting the team. Starting to the different things, building the team, absolutely. Trying to get that piece together because I know that you build team, you're gonna be more efficient, you be faster, you get stuff done. Yeah. Just all of those things. So those things started kicking in, and again, like I said, the more that I went up, had the opportunity, and it's an opportunity to lead. Just so everybody knows, I had the opportunity to lead. As I got to the different, I learned we were able to put things together. Right. Because when you're coming up, and we talked about this before. When you're coming up and you're young, you're young, coming up first in there, and you got leaders coming to tell you to do something, and you're like, what's wrong with it? Why are we doing that? And it's just and that was the Army when we were coming up, where you didn't necessarily get to always
ask why.
Yeah. Ask why and all of those other good things. So it was. All of those things. You just start putting all of those things together and try to start forming your forming your leadership style. Right. So it was it's a leadership is hard, but it is fun and gratifying when you start getting it right. So,
all right, for me, finally understanding that leadership was more about people than position. I specifically have a moment.
Okay. That's
I was an instructor at the NCO Academy on Fort Eustis. Mm-hmm. I had gone to Korea and then they brought me back there because I was actually on the path to drill sergeant. Mm-hmm. And but anyway, I was in charge of a class, and during that week there were some things that we didn't get everything locked in. We had some more training to do. So it was, we had a big event. It was called Transportation Day, right? Okay. And you had it on Fort Eustis. And that's basically a day where, it's a week where you celebrate transportation, right? You have different displays there. You have different events there. You have all the units come and basically have like a field day, okay. Right? Or and there's food and all types of stuff, music and all that. So Saturday morning, we were supposed to have, basically we set up as the NCO Academy, we set up a jail.
Okay.
Right. And you could go around and pay to have people put in jail for certain time limits. It's just another fundraiser, right? And my class, it was supposed to, we had a hit time where we were going to manage that. Mm-hmm. So we go up in there. First off, I tell them Friday, hey, we're going to come in here because y'all until you get this right, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna do it. Now, I ain't playing with you.
Okay.
So Saturday morning, I want to say it was 8 o'clock or whatever. I think we're 8 and we were supposed to meet at 10 or 11, something like that, right? So I'm like, y'all figure it out. I'll see you there. So how about I went out that night and then slept through the. Now remember, I'm an instructor at the Non-Commissioned Officer Academy.
Oh my gosh.
You know.
So you ain't show up?
Well, I didn't show up, and them soldiers was there waiting for me, and I show up at the right time for the event, the jail, right? And I'm like, oh my God, because I woke up, I was like, no, all that stuff, right? But so my students, they were on fire. Right.
I bet.
And so I honestly, I couldn't figure out what to do because I was wrong. Right. So the first thing is, because of my humble pie a few years earlier, I knew I had to humble myself. Right.
That was a good start.
And it's great when you know going in to do that. Right. Because I could have went in acting hard.
Yep.
But I don't care.
When in all hot and heavy.
Yeah,
Yep.
I could have did all that. But no, I humbled myself. And what I did was I put myself in jail.
I was gonna say, did they pay you and you were in jail all day?
They did. They paid to put me in jail. And so I was like, and different people had paid. And check this out. Humble pie. I was like, I'm going to be the best prisoner ever, right? So I'm up there talking smack, and then my boy, Marlon, he was like, he was with me because he went out the night before, but he was like, I got you. So me and him was in jail all day, and we was sitting there acting like we was trying to break out. And so for like 4 hours, I'm just sitting there, but all of my energy was letting them know that, hey, you know, it's on me. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. They paid to get me out of jail. You know what I'm saying? But it took 4 hours. But
but they cooled off.
Oh my
they
God!
Cooled
but
off.
I went in there. Hey, I had soldiers that paid for me to go to jail. They would come and slip me water. They'd bring me stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that taught me. It taught me that humility is something that you have to have as a leader.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
you
saying?
have to, man.
And then you have to act on that.
Yep.
If you are wrong, don't sit there and try to hide it.
No, man.
Don't sit there and try to act
hard.
like, oh
yeah,
my
it's
God.
too hard trying to
you
hide.
you lose so much credibility,
Yep.
especially when everybody
respect.
know. Oh my God,
you're gonna lose that respect from
my God.
your folks.
And so just being out there and it made it fun. I had fun because I'm a character anyway, so I didn't mind
You are a
playing
character.
around and doing that, and I was loud and just having a back and forth with, I think it was like 12 soldiers, about 12 or 16, I can't remember. But just having that back and forth and then just seeing them having a good time because, like I said, they was making sure that we didn't escape, and they was bringing me snacks and stuff, and
They put it to your commissary.
Yeah, it was all and just the reason I'm telling that story is because the anger and frustration they had with me when I showed up, and then to see that evolve because because I humbled myself to seeing them have fun, seeing them start to accept that he knows he messed up. You know what I'm saying? And these were E5s, E6s, sergeant, promotables, and staff sergeants. And just for to see the change in them, and the only thing it cost me was just being humbled, you know what I'm saying, and being shamed a little bit for my failure or whatever. But that right there, that changed me as that really made me remember that leadership is about people.
Yep.
And you can let people down, but you can also, because you built the team, you can also build them back up.
Yep.
But it's by getting over yourself.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That's getting them on board and keeping them on board. I mean, and you can get things done.
Yeah.
Get a lot of things done.
Absolutely. And that was my shining moment of failing, but then turning around and making something out of nothing.
Okay.
So
All
I'm
right.
very proud of that moment.
All right. All right. So, what leadership trait do you think is undervalued but absolutely essential?
I think they're all undervalued, right? Any trait you can think of is undervalued. And I say that because they're known, but they're not always seen, right? And so my biggest one is integrity. That is my one alpha, right? Is integrity, because if they can't believe in you and if they can't depend on you and your word, because you're given a lot of orders, especially through 20 years and 30 years, you've given a lot of orders. And if your orders don't carry the weight of, I'm giving you this order because this is what we have to do.
Right.
It's not because I'm just making stuff up. It's not because I'm just bowing down to everybody that's over me. This is what we have to do. And that's another thing about leadership. Most of the time, leadership is you following orders. You know what I'm saying? Because you and your staff, or you and your soldiers, or you and your people have a responsibility to execute what you're told to do.
Yeah. What's the mission?
Absolutely.
What's the mission of the organization or whatever? Then that's what you have to try to convey.
And you, as the next leader in that tier, it's your responsibility to train and develop your soldiers so that you can execute any order you're given.
Yep.
Right. And so most of the time as a leader, you're just following the orders that are given to you, presented to you. And sometimes those orders are because the one on top wants something different today, even though you have a training calendar for 180 days.
Yes.
But the one that's at the top, right, or anyone that's above you today wants to add something to it. And that could take you off your schedule, right? But that's the thing is, you have to train flexibility and adaptability
That's
into your soldiers.
so important. That is super. Flexibility is.
Oh goodness!
I mean, that was my favorite
Because
word.
yeah.
I mean, because it's like you got to be able to bend with the wind
Absolutely.
and do what needs to be done at that whatever time it is or whatever comes up. So
100%.
yep.
And so when you have built that integrity and when you have gained their trust, when that flexibility comes, when that wind blows, they know you're not bull jiving them. And they know, let's go execute. They may complain. Who cares about somebody complaining? The point is, do they execute and do they accomplish the mission? And that right there, integrity. And then my 1B is resilience. Because the hardest thing in the world is when you, as a person, are struggling.
Yep.
But you still have to lead.
That's my number one is self-care, because I think that it is it's preached.
Yeah.
It's preached a lot, but it's not
Right.
enforced, or because it's like
It's a secondary term.
Yeah, because it's like whatever the mission is, the situation is, it's like you need to get it done, you need to do it. And a lot of old heads, a lot of older folks, we came up and grew up in that do more with less, which they're having to do a lot of now too, because they don't have as many folks as they used to, but do more with less. And when you're trying to do more with less, you're not taking care of yourself, because then you also feel like if you don't do it, then you're letting the folks down. You know, you're letting the folks down, and then the folks that are above you are gonna be like, well, why didn't you do it? You can't tell them because I was stressed, or I felt like I was about to have a heart attack, or they don't want to hear that. They want to hear, this is what you did to complete that whatever mission. Now these young folks, they'll take some self-care days or mental health days or whatever, however they come up and stuff. And that was something that was super hard to grasp. At first, but then it was like, okay, look, you just adjust. I mean, you adjust and say, okay, tell your different squad leaders or and see, you know, it's like, hey,
Figure
look
it
at
out.
your folks and see what's going on, and
Yeah.
let's, you know, see how we can adjust so that, you know, people can get, if we can get an extra day off or get somebody to come in an hour late, you know, try to adjust it so that you see that you, it's like, I can't give you all, but I can try to adjust and give you some to
But the
get you
reality
there.
of it is, should have been that way anyway.
Yes.
You know, the reality of it is. And one thing that I would like for everybody to know, don't expect your leader to ask you if you're okay. Should they? Absolutely. It should be the first thing that comes out of their mouth. Do they? More than likely, no. But that doesn't mean you don't take care of yourself.
No,
All right.
I mean,
And I
and you
agree.
have to be aware. I mean, and that's one of the things I always tell young leaders, young soldiers, young officers is yeah, and that's one thing that you can't do is lead from behind the desk. You have to get from behind that desk and get out
See
and
what's going on.
see what's going on. Talk to your. I mean, because that's another way where you can see if somebody's not doing so well is if you go out and you're talking to folks. Because I learned so much about what was going on in
Yeah.
folks' lives when I would do my because I do rounds in the morning, I do them in the afternoon, just so I could try to hit, you know, a couple of the shifts and stuff, and you learn so much to help out your leaders to say, hey, did you realize that such and such this was going on?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what's your plan? What are you gonna do? You know, before this ends up being a
The problem.
yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's you got to get out and you got to get from behind that desk and see your people, and you got to be flexible.
And I'll just say on that, 100% agree. But I'll also say it's hard sometimes because depending on your position, um, finding time, especially if they're not in the same building as you, trying to get down to the motor pool, trying to get over uh, to the other different area, like in some of my cases, get over to the daggone medical center. It's tough, and it seems like it's impossible. But you just got to remember this, and this is something I had to learn to deal with because I always wanted to be in the motor pool, you know. But there's admin stuff that you're getting paid to do, and you have to knock that out and make sure it's right. And then you also have, in my case, the commander sitting right there, and there's things that you need to counsel each other about. And then you've got your higher command. But the one thing I had to learn to deal with and accept is as long as I am making that effort, and then as long as I am training and developing my subordinate leaders under me to fill in those blanks
Right.
when I'm not there, and try to encourage them to walk around more in their specific area and ask those additional questions, and pay attention to
Yep.
the soldier who's pulls you to the side to talk and all that stuff. That's how you get by, because there are times when you just won't make it. I mean, there are times, and I'm in a transportation unit, and there are times when I was in charge and couldn't even make it to the motor pool where all of our stuff is, where all of our platoons are,
Right.
you know, and it's because there's so much
It's a
going
lot of,
on.
yeah, you got a lot of meetings and a lot of
Yeah.
folks who you're talking to and answering to. But it's like you have to make the
That's it.
effort,
Make the effort.
and
Yep.
if you can train that into your subordinate leaders to be doing that, then you're also going to get that information back
Yes.
too that you need. So,
Yes, agreed.
Yep.
Because we know that's a known right there, but all you can do is fight against it to try to clear in. And also a little tip for you that usually, if you have it in your schedule to do, you can remind your daggone senior leaders, whether they're military or not. You can remind them that this is a reoccurring thing, and this is something that I'm trying to keep up, and they'll usually give you grace.
Yep.
You know, have you show up later or come by their office to catch up on what's
Yep.
going on. So that's also something that I didn't figure out as the subordinate leader, but I figured out as a senior leader, and gave my people time and grace to get
Look
through
at
that.
you. Look at
Hey,
you.
evolution is a mug.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: if you
Okay.
had one piece of advice that you could give to young soldiers, and for you specifically, young officers,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you had one piece of advice you could share with a young soldier as they're stepping into that first role that you talked about,
Mm-hmm.
what would it be?
Listen.
Listening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen and learn to be flexible.
Mm.
Because depending on what you're doing and where you're starting off at, it's going to be somebody there that has a little more experience than you. So when you are first getting into the game, you need to learn how to listen. You need to learn to be flexible with things because things are not always going to go the way that you think that they were supposed to go.
That's
And if
a talent you gain in the military.
and if you stay steadfast on one way, you could be doing something really dangerous out there. And I mean, and communicating. I mean, and that's communicating is just not me and you talking back and forth. That's that's emails. That's I mean, being able to effectively and clearly communicate. that's the other thing too. You have to be able to clearly.
Something you had to learn, right?
Absolute, yes, absolute. But that's why I'm telling you, so that you don't have to learn the same lessons that I learned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, otherwise, man, it's leading is such a rewarding and it's a fun game. I mean, especially if you're enjoying what you're doing and you got a good team. You know, you've done all of the different things to build up your department section. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Yeah, and I have something to say to add on, but I still have my own. Okay, so don't hold me accountable to that. But I will say this: leadership is a wonderful thing, but it gets even better when you start to realize it's not about you.
Mm-hmm.
When you start to realize that the mission is the goal.
Yep.
And there are a million missions. There's a million missions, right? And the only thing you can do is understand what the expectations are of you and then execute, but also understand what your obligations are
Yeah, and
execute.
Man, and that's the beauty of it because you stay in long enough, you understand that.
Yes.
And you're able to convey that back to your
and
people.
Hope,
and
hope that they get
hope that they understand it. But you have done that.
Absolutely.
But you understand. but you can give them the bigger, bigger picture, that large strategic.
You can paint the
mission.
whole picture for them.
I mean, it's
which is something that you probably won't get.
No,
right?
You don't. Yeah,
early on.
You're gonna be, and you're gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
you're gonna be pissed at your leaders.
Yeah.
And like some of it will be justifiable, some of it will just be because they didn't know. You didn't understand, or they didn't understand.
Yeah.
But take it from us.
Mm-hmm.
You'll learn your lessons. We learned our lessons and got better at it. So.
But then it's a whole different other frustration because now you're the senior leader, and you're giving this beautiful Van Gogh painting, and then you got people that ain't even paying attention to you.
Yeah.
but
but when you do that, then you know for sure you can get in somebody's.
Yeah,
but because you said I told you this, I explained all this to you. So it's a, but you did it the proper way.
Exactly. But anyway, so my piece of advice is master counseling.
Oh, preach.
Verbal and written.
Preach.
Because that is so. I mean, it's in the regulations in the Army. I'm sure it's taught in the civilian world. I don't know the depths, but in the military, it's very simple. There are specific times when you're supposed to put on paper counseling sessions for your soldiers and your subordinates. It's there. Don't wait till the last minute to do that.
Nope.
Keep a running copy. And this is something that I didn't do as a squad leader effectively enough, but it's something that I know for a fact that first line supervisors need to understand.
Yep.
And soldiers need to understand. You deserve to be
Yeah,
counseled.
don't be afraid to ask for it.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to ask for your counseling.
And as a leader, you're responsible to counsel. And the more that you can understand that and figure that out, the better you'll, first, the more organized you'll be. Secondly, the better you'll understand your soldiers. And then finally, the better you'll be able to lead and push your soldiers to success.
Yep.
All right. Here's a simple example. I meet Private Lance. I ain't going to say Taylor. I meet Private Lance.
It's all good.
And he comes to my office first day, and I'm Sergeant Tommy. First day, I ask him, how you doing? I'm asking his situation. I ask him, are you married? He's married. Do you have kids? No. What's your education looking like? What are your goals and all that stuff, right? I'll ask those specific things. And guess what? I write that down. Now I know exactly what I need to focus on for Private Lance. I need to make sure that his family's okay. First I need to make sure he's okay, make sure his family's okay, and also I can start putting him in situations where he can start to improve his education, improve his job knowledge, and improve his certifications that the military has for a requirement. Now, a year later, I didn't counsel him effectively according to the standards. What have I done? Have I made sure that soldier's okay? Have I made sure that his family's okay? Have I made sure that I put him on the path to educate himself and get the certifications and requirements he needs to advance to the next level? I don't know, because I didn't do it on the scheduled times, and I didn't follow up with the questions I had or the progress the soldiers made.
Yep. Same thing on the officer side. I mean, it's we don't do a good job at it.
Nobody does.
We have some people that do, but I think the vast majority, we just don't do it, and it hurts, especially when it comes down to the evaluation time. Because how are you going to tell somebody that they didn't do something right, or they didn't meet something
establish it,
if you didn't? So you end up having folks sticking around that don't need to be there.
Agreed.
And people who have excelled,
Because
not getting the proper, not getting the proper respect because they're on the same. Now you got folks, because you have people knowing that they were
garbage.
I said, dirt bags, and trying to say that they did the same thing as somebody that was one of your shining stars, and it's like, no,
anything to back it up, but now you're forced to put it on paper.
Yeah, so that's super important. I mean, take the time. If you don't know, ask for instructions on how to do it. Ask for insert classes. I mean, whatever is out there.
And practice.
Yeah,
is
but
the only thing that's going to make you better.
And just schedule it. You schedule it as the leader. Schedule it, and if you're the soldier, ask for. If you know that it should be coming up, or it should be, say, hey, Sergeant, hey, Major, Captain,
Keep
Major,
your own notes.
Colonel. I need to get my. Okay, yep. Let's get it done. So.
And the last thing I'll say, agreeing with everything that Private Lance said,
That's what I did.
I'll say this. The biggest shame by most of us who didn't do counseling accurately and consistently enough is that we're not setting our soldiers up for the successes that they should. Some of them may not even know. Right. I've always believed this. There's no way you should be able to make Sergeant E5 and not know the responsibilities of a Sergeant E5. And I keep that all the way up the chain. There's no way a staff sergeant, no way a sergeant first class, no way a master sergeant, no way a first sergeant. There's no way you should ever achieve any of those positions and not have an understanding of what's required.
You don't know the basics.
Because you're supposed to build a soldier up to a certain point so that they are to standard for what they are, and then you're supposed to start training them for the future.
Next. Yep.
And if you're not counseling correctly, you're failing that soldier as a leader, or you're being failed as a soldier by your leader, and your progress is behind. And that's unacceptable, especially in the military where lives matter. And people walk into jobs every day with the expectation that you'll be able to execute because of your rank. And
you got people. People walk into the hospital. Same thing. They expect people to know their jobs,
and
and to be able to do those safely and effectively and efficiently, and all of those other good things. So,
and how many times have you seen somebody like, "What in the world is this?"
Yes.
That's a sad point.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wrap this up. Leading from the front. It doesn't mean being perfect. It just means being present and also focused on what is required of you and what your expectations are.
Yeah. Your rank might earn you respect, but your actions are what keep it.
100%. And leadership in uniform, it shaped the way we lead in life. And I'm talking about as husbands, I'm talking about as fathers, I'm talking about as men, because when you're a good and great soldier, you're also a good and great person.
Yes. It bleeds over.
Yep.
Hey, man, and we didn't always get it right.
Facts.
We did not always get it right, but we always showed up.
Every day.
We were always you learn that accountability. You learn all of those things that are needed to be a very good leader.
Yeah.
And that's what real leadership is about, and that's what it looks like.
Except that one time I didn't show up at the thing when I told the soldier, but I showed up that next day and whatever. No, but seriously, thank you for joining us for this episode of 4 Titles, 1 Truth. If you're liking our content, do us a favor. Go ahead and leave us a rating and a review. Rumor has it that there's nothing wrong with giving a 5 out of 5. I'm just saying, that's the rumor.
Yeah. Did you know you can follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, and even watch us on YouTube? You can see us.
The tube, yeah.
And share this episode with someone that you believe could use this. All right. So see you next episode, and as always, y'all, let's keep the conversation going.
Holla.
All right. Peace, y'all.